say it. This is Power Play. And welcome back. Now, there are more hearings going on at the IRS today. And if Lois Lerner didn't like those hearings, she's really not going to like these hearings, because what happens today is that congressional investigators, Republicans, are going to bring forward those folks from the Cincinnati field office who say, it was not isolated, and it was not us. This was at the direction, behest, and guidance of senior officials, political appointees, in Washington. So what about that? What about that? Why does it matter? People who know include Ford O'Connell. He is a former McCain-Palin presidential campaign advisor. He is a chairman of Civic Forum PAC. And Penny Lee. She is a former senior advisor to Senator Harry Reid. She is a principal at Venn Strategies, bringing people together, the overlapping area in between. It's smart. It's smart. It's smart, and so she, Penny Lee. Okay, so now Democrats say, some Democrats say, not all Democrats say, some Democrats say, oh, enough with the IRS stuff. Enough with the IRS stuff. You keep dragging out these IRS people. It wasn't ideological. It was a mistake, and it's been rectified, and Danny Werfel said so, and moving on. Republicans, though, think that there is gold in them. There are hills. Ford, at a certain point, though, aren't people tuning out this stuff?
They are tuning out because the Democrats wisely know that if they keep stonewalling and playing word games, the American public has severe ADD when it comes to complex political matters. And essentially, this is their plan. Slow drip it, and guess what? The American public doesn't care. Why? Because it's not on HBO and ESPN.
Well, you're not talking about the Fox News Channel, are you?
Well, the Fox News Channel is
different.
Power in its own.
That's different. Okay, so Penny, Ford sort of has a point here. The president, and we've talked about this here before, rather than swinging a scythe through the IRS and showing urgent, wrongdoing will not be tolerated, especially when my political opponents are the enemy, especially then, the president has gone slow.
Yeah, you can call the president stonewalling, but you can also call the Republicans.
I didn't say stonewalling. He's foot dragging.
He's foot dragging, and I think that Penny's engaging in the same foot dragging. And the reason is the administration's argument on the way out there. I love Penny to death, but their argument was it was a bunch of undisciplined clowns.
That's a Southern thing. You say something mean about somebody, say, bless their heart.
It's Southern diplomacy. Right, but basically they said it was a bunch of clowns in Cincinnati, and this was bad customer service. Now what we know is that it was a complex, scheme of routing and vetting to target the IRS between Lois Lerner, the head of the tax-exempt status, and William Wilkins, who was an Obama appointee, who's the head of the tax law shop. And to make Republicans even happier, I never thought I'd hear the word Jeremiah Wright again. But Wilkins is the same man who defended Jeremiah Wright when the IRS was in on Obama, and now you flipped around. There are no coincidences in politics.
Talk about a Venn diagram unfolding as we go.
I would like a whiteboard like Carl.
I understand that William Ayers also was on the defense team. All right. So
my former boss blew that one, too.
There you go.
And we unfortunately have heard conflicting reports. And now we have an IG that at one point said he was only targeting the Tea Parties. Now we've learned no, progressives were actually being targeted as well. There were questions. I'm skeptical of it as well. I mean, I would agree that Tea Party people were overly. I agree that they were overly investigated. I do, but at the same time, let's get some facts on our side instead of just this continuing cherry pick the soundbite that sounds good so you can get your 15 seconds of fame on Twitter.
But I hear you. But we've now proven that it's in Washington. Now the next question was it a political weapon directed by the White House? And so far, I agree the Obama is foot dragging. But essentially, the longer you foot drag, all you're going to wind up doing is hurting America and hurting Hillary Clinton's chances of winning in 2016.
I like it. Ford is always cutting to the chase.
Jeremy Wright. Everybody attached to the
IRS. Ford has already moved ahead. I just want to know what your position with the Rubio campaign is going to be in 2016.
Well,
it's interesting that you bring that up. Here's what I say, and we'll see what you guys think. What I say is that in the end, the crisis of confidence in the American government, which is not new, which is building and growing and growing and growing. Everybody who complains, Washington ought to get this stuff done. What do they call it? No labels, whatever. No labels is having a thing today.
We call that generic label.
Right, exactly. It's just that white can with the black letters that say beer. And as you watch this immigration bill, for example, crumble and crumple, it is because there is not the requisite trust. When people say, hey, we want to do something big and ambitious, the people, and this is not just Republicans or Democrats, but the people say, you guys suck at this,
Yeah.
and no thank you.
And that's why they turn on HBO and ESPN?
That's
You know,
come
moving it
on
back.
now.
in journalism, we call that the Sports Illustrated technique, and comedians use it too, which is you make a reference to something at the beginning, and then when it's time to close the segment or close the story,
back.
you bring back another
As
reference.
a Medill journalism graduate, I thank you.
And you're not bad. And you're not bad anyway. You're not bad anyway, guys. We thank you very
Thank you.
much for keeping it real here today.